where's my watch? Okay, I'm gonna put this on the bed, I guess. Okay, my watch. I guess I should just... Here, the watch that Zach gave me. Where did I... no, I really gotta do something with this, actually. A chair. Alright, where's the watch that Zach got me? No, well, I guess I should put that in my pocket. I don't want to carry the big one. No, I'm not gonna... What am I... watch with the... man, I guess... Okay, put this in that pocket, and... oh, here it is. Yeah, check the time. It is falling matrix code o'clock. Maybe you can't see that in the lighting, but it's like my favorite watch. Zach just gave this to me right before Otakon. I've bragged about it before, but it's my fucking watch. Yeah. So anyway, I've posed this question to myself often a night, which is, what do you get a guy for Christmas when he's already got a bunch of knives? And unfortunately, though I have tried and thought this for many years, the answer, shit, big freaking knife, is not a big a knife. But I always thought it was. No, the question actually, when a guy has way too many knives, it's actually pretty simple, really, when you think about it. The answer is comic books. Clearly, someone who collects knives likes to collect crazy, insane shit like this. Love Mark Millar. Love the Hit Girl series. Love the Towel. And then when you buy them comics and they start collecting those, and they're small. They're smaller than knives, but I mean, you definitely need somewhere to store them. Freaking ammo crate, dude. Obviously, I picked that up for $10 at a Bass Pro. Actually, I picked two up for $20. Woo! No, I don't actually intend to use these to store comic books. You can always fill them up with ammo and drop them on the ground, and then no one's gonna... No, let's not talk about that. Okay, let's just put these away. No. So, the actual answer to your question, obviously, what do you get a guy when he's already got way too many freaking knives? Is a Pelican case. So I saw this video, this like Norwegian, Icelandic. It's one of those Hinga-Dinga-Durgan countries. Wow, is it racist if against white people? No, it's not. I forgot. Never anything racist against white people. Okay, so he was reviewing this. He's like a bushman or a bush craftsman. He's into that kind of thing, and he has a ton of knives and equipment. And I just saw this, and I saw the way that he was storing knives, and I had to get one. This is about $150, and let's just say right off the bat, custom foam knife, or custom foam cases are not free. They're not cheap. They don't just, you know, give them out away. So $150 is not unreasonable for a case that is shockproof. Well, it's not bulletproof, but I have seen it shot with a shotgun. It is not recommended that you burn it, but I have seen it burned and the things on the inside survived. It is waterproof. It floats. If for whatever reason it is dumped into water and does not and fails to float because of the weight, it has an automatic pressure gauge right there that will equalize the pressure on the inside. This thing is heavy fucking military duty, and that just turns Tolstoy on. I don't know why it does. It just does. Take a look at the inside of the case. These snaps are very... what's the word? They're heavy duty. Those snaps really require a lot of force to get up, and a lot more to go down. Just lean over here. It's kind of hard to open it first. You're hitting like a spring in the hinge that holds it open. So I don't have to worry about it falling and collapsing down on my hands. Now, how many knives is this going to hold, you're going to say? Oh, I don't know, it's just one. It's not going to hold a lot. In fact, while we're at it, I'll show you my old knife case that I made, sort of. This old knife case can fit inside my new knife case. Bam. How about that, Mamma Jamma? What is a Mamma Jamma? Don't ask me, I don't fucking know. I'm just making this shit up. So those are my old knives. These basically, you know, I just traced out the area in the foam and cut it out. I showed this once on an EDC video a while ago. It was actually made for medical equipment. I believe this was the scope that goes inside of you. Either a rectoscope up your butthole or down your throat, so that they can see inside of you. Isn't medical technology kick-ass? Medical technology rocks. So I really like this case. However, it's not as good as the new case. I'm sort of like working around this tripod, so if I do this clumsily, you have to forgive me. It works. It held the knives in place. So you're asking yourself, how many knives are really going to fit in this case? Not many more, right? Well, that's where you're wrong. Let's take a look at this. It comes with their... I don't think it's patented. But either way, they refer to it as like our very special pluck and pick and pluck foam. Now, what does that mean? Take a look at the back. You can see that there's a little bit more texture. Okay, and it's cut into little squares that are about 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, so 1 inch squared. Okay, if you look what I'm doing here, see that? See that? How they're sort of parting? You can punch these out, even with your fingers, although they recommend that you do use a nice, good knife, maybe an X-Acto knife or a razor, something like that. A little knife, you can just cut them out. Okay, and there's 2 layers of those. There's 2 layers. And then at the bottom, you just have a bit of foam that is not pick and pluck, just foam. Foam in and of itself is expensive. It's like $50 for like a square yard at a crafting store like Joann Fabrics. So already, with 3 layers of foam, that's $150. Plus the case. Plus they pre-sliced it for you. This is a deal. At least it is to me. Anyway, and the price did drop a little bit on Cyber Monday. They recommended using this for a camera. But you can use this for whatever. I've seen custom, you know, and this is the 1600 model. They make many models in many colors. Black is the only color I want anything in. Yeah, I just like doing that. So, I did 1 stress test. I'm not going to do a lot, but I did stand on it twice, and that looks like this. Yeah, so, I mean, not exactly proud of this, but I weigh 160 pounds at my height, which is 5'7". I've said it in other videos, so yeah, I'm a short, fat Italian plumber. Hey, I'm popular with the kids. So, yeah, if this thing can withstand that kind of pressure, I've seen it drop kicked, I've seen it thrown off buildings, there's a whole bunch of stress tests you can see on the internet. Take a look at some of those are super cool. I'm going to deck this shit out with knives, so give me a minute. Alright, after a little bit of effort, managed to plant my knives down on in there. Let's see what we get for our money. Up, and catch your hand on the inside of that hinge and really, really hurt it. This is my knife collection condensed into this area. This is not any of the knives that I would consider, you know, special, nothing to write home about. These are not the knives. These are the knives I care about. I care a lot about these knives. The other ones that I'm just like, like the Kershaw Skyline. A lot of the more cheaper knives are just those cheapy Chinas. Actually, I've got a whole box of cheapy Chinas. Let me see what I got here. Oh shit, the box came open. I forgot about that. Oh, I forgot about this one. Hey! Look at all you guys. So, an example of what did not end up in the box. Found this knife outside of my neighborhood. Oh, it has a nail neck. Yeah, forgot about that. Just found it. On the ground. It's just rusty and broken. Oh, the lock doesn't even really work anymore. Oh, I should just throw this out. I actually think I will. Oh, don't put it on that. Ordered this off the internet. This was like one of my first knife reviews. Remember that? Yeah. The mini Kershaw. It's a cute little EDC blade. Doesn't even have a pocket clip. Look at that. Didn't think you needed one. It's not what they thought. This is a what, Gerber? I don't even freaking know. Just a little cheapy knife. Like, I think the Mexican gardeners, and that's not racist, they're gardeners, they're Mexicans, dropped this. I was taking a walk and I just decided, hey, free knife. So none of this shit ended up in there. I had some of the stuff I got at a gun show back before my taste in knives refined. So let's just go over this. I'm kind of like reaching and hugging over the camera again, so if you see, like, you know, my necktie kind of flaps out and gets in the way. That's right. Tolstoy went back to dressing awesome for today because I've got something really cool to do after I edit this freaking video. Hopefully everything turns out tonight. Because it's gonna change and fix my tie. Alright, so basically, the one knife that I could not stick deep enough in there. Sexual. Oh yeah, and here's my, on this end. All I had to do was cut out one brick, and here's my tactical pen, which I have used on several occasions. Not on people, I'm just carried. Been to Philadelphia recently again, I revisited. And in the streets of Philly, and at night that I was walking around, you cannot carry any folding knife unless you have a reason to carry it, i.e. it's occupational, and no, self-defense does not count as a reason, because you shouldn't be afraid, you should call the police. People are mostly trustworthy, except for when they're not trustworthy, and they're armed, and you're not armed because you didn't expect them to be armed because they're not bad people in the world, but there are bad people in the world, but you shouldn't be afraid of them because we have the police, and they're never the bad people. I don't know! Okay? I don't know. I felt better with big old, chunk of British steel. I don't know. So, anyway, yeah, down here, this knife, Cold Steel Spada Large, that I showed off earlier, cannot fit vertically going down. And as you can see, basically... Actually, shit, I forgot to bring up the material that it's made out of. But basically, at first I started cutting into it with my fingers, or with like a small pocket knife. Then I just switched to use my fingers. You can physically just punch these out, just wiggling your finger in there. And that is actually what she said. So, going down the line from... This is this logic that I adopted. Adapted? What did I do? I don't know. First things first. My very first EDC blade. My brother's old Kershaw KAI import. This is like, the knife's lockup is bad. It's old, beat up. I use it every day. It's not even sharp. I remember I used to like whip this out on my videos because I was like, hey, I'm so cool because I get the knife, I take the beat. Man, that was years ago. Remember that one was like, how fast can I get at my knife? And it's like me playing Jimi Hendrix and wearing a Who t-shirt. Good freaking times. You know what? Can I sit down and do this over... Yeah, like on my bed. There we go. Yeah, that's seeing Tolstoy. Woo! So my logic is that. First knife, hand-me-down from my brother. For a while, I was carrying a smaller knife because for my own personal religious reasons, and I won't even get into that, I became a pacifist. Then I got jumped, and I remember trying to open this small little crappy, wouldn't even, cut somebody, not even sharp blade, in my pocket, and it sliced my finger because I was trying to get it out without them seeing it. So it's a long freaking story. I did nothing illegal, but scared the crap out of me. So after that, I went back to carrying a big old SQUUEE knife. This is a Kershaw Barrage, Walmart. It's got a little bit of rust there. I should clean it up. But it's honestly just a shitty little it's just a really crappy, cheap knife. Kershaw makes great knives for the cheap. But honestly, my tastes have improved. So yeah. Slide that down in there. This one, carried this for a long-ass time. This one served me well. The Kershaw Blur Tonto with partial serration. Disliked the blade. I mean, I could cut into boxes with it, and that partial serration did come in handy, but I've moved out and on from partial serration to just a whole blade. It's easier to resharpen. And also the Tonto tip. Actually, that is razor fucking sharp. I just plucked that. That is freaking sharp. Actually, good work, Kershaw. So just slide it on down in there. After that, I went to CRKT. And all these are products lined up kind of by their brand, if you will. So, Columbia River Knife and Tool. This one was like a fire starter. This is not my first CRKT. My first CRKT was the Kit Carson M21, which was an amazing, awesome knife that I carried for the longest time. And then I gave it to my friend Kenny. Just gave it to him as a gift because he said he needed a knife for, work purposes and possibly self-defense, considering where he works in Baltimore, and yeah. I don't carry this knife ever because although I love the blade style and I love the assisted opening bar, it's a very strong, it's I think the fastest assisted opener I have. Colors. Army green. That used to be my deal. I really did wear, son of a bitch. And the other thing is that you really have to close it with two hands. Can't do it with the one. So I was going to trade a U.S. Army 1911 holster to somebody that I know for that, and they never got back to me on that. I actually... Oh, you know what? I did this backwards. I was supposed to have this one where this one's supposed to be. It's also in the order of when I bought these. So this is like a walk down memory lane. The Hee-Ho. I used this at work for a little while, and this girl had her cell phone, like, bedazzled. And she's like, I don't want this anymore. Can you get it off? And I was all like, yeah, sure. And I just started shaving it off. It really fucked up the edge a little bit. I tried to repair it. It's a cute little EDC knife. I really love the fact that it goes well with suit jackets and that smooth G10, that not very grippy G10. A great, beautiful texture. Goes well with the suit pants. Doesn't tear them the fuck up. But I did not like it as a tactical knife. And Tolstoy's all about the tactical. So I got its bigger brother. The Hee-Ho 2. What do they call this one? It says on the back of the blade. Hisasu. The Hisasu folder. And I remember I was using this to disassemble that old big leather chair that I used to have to get the new one in there. And I remember I accidentally dropped my socket wrench down into the fabric of the chair. So I physically took this and did a Pirates of Penzance and just... And then went all the way down. through that naga hide or that leather or whatever the fuck it was, and got my freaking tool back. So up here we start our cold steel collection. And this is the infamous almost stabbed myself. Have had a friend hurt himself with this. The cold steel tie light, the one with the wiggle. It's cool. The lockup's not gonna fail, but still, it's. Yeah, there it is. One of my favorite classic Kershaws, VG2. Wait, was it VG10? VG1 Jap stainless. What I consider to be an excellent, sort of soft. I did have the tip chip once. The tip of the chip, the box and a fox. I will not eat it in your socks. A friend at a party wanted to drink his beer faster because it was a chugging game, and he goes, "Hey man, your knife!" And I was just like, "All right," and I whipped it out and I snapped it open and I handed it to him like this because I hand people knives the correct way. I hate when people are like, "Here, have the knife back. Take it back. Take it back. Don't you want it back?" And he took it and he drove it down into his beer can, and that did fuck the tip up a little bit, and I managed to get that repaired with an auto bumper or one of those. Actually, I didn't do it. An expert did. So very sorry. But I have taken chips out of knives. I actually did it using stropping techniques with one of these knives I'll show you coming up. After that, I did actually get both of these, not only the large Espada, but, so that shifted around the phone a little bit. This one's way big, but the medium. My girlfriend hates knives. She thinks that they are the worst things ever, except for kitchen knives, and her brother's folding knife. Don't get that shit, but she hates knives, and she hates when I take them out. The smaller the knife, the better. She thinks that I'm, like, paranoid for carrying them, because, bad people don't exist in the world. And if they do, you should call the police. Anyway, so I actually made her open this once. I was like, "Open it!" And she was all like, what do I do now? I can't get it open anymore. Oh, shit, the detent spring on that one's dangerous. I just did that. There was an old guy that did a review of this one on the internet. I think he had a ring on? I can't remember, but he had really old, long spider fingers, and he just had a really soft, buttery, kind of scratchy voice, and he was talking about, he said, "That's a wicked-looking blade right there." And, like, the way he said wicked-looking blade, in and of itself, was wicked. This one, to holster into this foam, you sort of have to dig it in. I'm not really cool with that, but whatever. Then my most recent, which is basically, this one is my new Kit Carson M21, and it comes with a triad lock and a fucking sexy shit clip point blade. Totally tactical. The thing's a little too grippy for me, but the Kershaw Cold Steel Recon 1. So, and then over here is kind of an assortment of brands. 3 that are kind of new and special to me that I never got into the cult of. For all intents and purposes, this one here is a training balisong or butterfly knife. It is completely dull, and therefore in my state it is completely legal to own and would even be legal to carry. So it is a unsharpened trainer. Okay? My very prized possession, my Bradley Kimura. Ooh. Did I just fuck the tip up? No. Everything's fine. That was probably the latch hitting it. Ah, damn it. Shouldn't be doing that. Let's just be safe and not flip. My Bradley Kimura Model 2. I've always wanted a Model 1. I paid for a trainer version of the Model 1. And unfortunately, I paid $80 for it, got the guy ushed down 20 from 100. I said, "Look, I just want the Model 1 bad enough, and I can actually get the more updated versions for cheaper on the net. Can we do it for 80? And the guy said, "Hey, all right." And I slid it over to my dad, paid the man, and my dad thought that by me sliding it over, that meant put it back on the shelf. So I returned home from the gun show without my knife, and I cried like a bitch. But it's whatevs. Ooh, I like that action. One more time. Ah! It's sexy. Okay, that wasn't sexual. Over here is my first buck knife. And by buck, I don't mean any of their modern crap shit. I mean the Buck Model 110, 3.5-inch folding knife. Very famous knife among builders and electricians. I did manage to chip this steel. It's made of 420 steel, and I did chip by doing a little bit of, in somebody's home, dogs are barking, by doing a little bit of work with some wood, and I managed to just buff that out by taking a leather belt and just stropping. I realized that with a hollow ground like this, a very, very sharp knife, and I could get this when shaving sharp. I was actually really proud of that. So, and of course, the last one on the list, a very new one. I've never been into the cult of Spyderco. This is a Spidey native. There's the Spidey hole. I have trouble opening it with one hand. I love the fact that it's made in Golden, Colorado. Of all their blades, I like this one because it doesn't do that weird crane thing where the blade starts right here. It doesn't like dip and then go in and start in the blade. It just starts the blade with this jimping. Really nice little EDC knife. I bought it for work. My work now is very casual, and it's actually... Dog barking just blew my brains out. It's very casual, but the problem is that I do need a knife for stuff at work, guys. I know I work in a closed pharmacy that services mental health facilities, but I still need to cut up in boxes. Well, the HIPAA ribbons that I can't throw in the HIPAA trash because they have like a cardboard tube at the center, gotta cut that open. How do you think I'm gonna do that? In fact, someone even said, why don't you just whip out your knife? And I'm like, I don't like to do that unless no one's looking, because, of course, if you own a knife, you're a terrorist. How do I know? Because I own knives. Therefore, I must be a terrorist. Oh, wait, I skipped over one. The Mackinac Hunter. Somebody, one of my fans, it's getting a little stiff. There we go. One of my fans on YouTube found my Facebook. He was talking to me about knives, and he said, if you want a more classic look, more like this very sexy, with the brass and everything, he said, try looking into the Mackinac Hunter. It's got faux stag on the sides. I really do like this knife. The problem is getting it out of your pants is a bitch because, for once, it is not grippy enough. I've had other knives that were, people were like, this isn't grippy enough because the G10 isn't made out of spikes, you know what I mean? And no, this is plenty grippy right here. This is too fucking grippy. Too grippy right here. But this, the fucking Voyager, that is the pants destroyer. That's not the Voyager, that's a Recon 1. The Voyager is a good level of grip, I do like that. The Recon 1, that is the pants destroyer. That is your pocket ender. And this, very soft and nice on the pockets. But guess what, dude? It's too slippery. I don't feel like I got a good hand on it. This is really only for skin and game, doing a little bit of whittling, that kind of thing. So as you can see, even with my entire knife collection, there is room to grow. And this is only the first layer. Okay, I had to cut these holes over here into both layers to allow them to go down far enough, otherwise they'd stick up to about here, and then this top wouldn't close. One of my only concerns with the pick and pluck foam, which is amazing and awesome and customizable, is that through constantly moving the knife in and out, I'm afraid that I'm going to wear down these like little gluey spots here, and that eventually it will start to decay or come apart, I don't know, but I will not probably be moving these every single day. I will probably, first of all, let me take out the Recon 1, because I'm going to be wearing that later tonight. I'll probably only carry this one, or, and this is just a storage place for all my knives. And I know what you're thinking, don't you like to display your knives? What about your, what was it, guitar case? Well, the guitar case I'll probably fill with a lot of airsoft guns that I've got overflowing, and I'll probably still display the fixed blade knives, the stuff I really can't functionally, and this would be a great place to put all the knives that really aren't. Yeah, I find that to be a nice looking instrument, but let's face it, it's not like the fucking Mona Lisa. It's not something I want to frame like my whip or my swords or something like that. Those are all really cool. Yeah, really honestly no complaints. I might use this to even store, maybe, and you can see a ton of people have a ton of setup for this. I put my laptop here, I put my gun here. I might even store either my riot baton, some of my contact weapons that aren't pretty enough to really display. I could put my firearms in it. I could, obviously can't fit the Mini Ruger in this, but I did recently purchase, and I'm waiting for the, the 2-week waiting period or whatever. I think it's 8 days in Maryland to clear. Oh, that's on Monday! Sorry, I got really excited. I just realized I can pick up my Smith & Wesson 6-inch 357 Magnum. Gun's a bit big for me. Was gonna get it for home defense. I traded in that old crappy antique pistol I'm not gonna use. Yeah. So, all in all, I highly recommend the Pelican case. You can use these corners here and put locks through them, or chains to carry. Doesn't matter, and it's a really fine product. It's massive as holy hell. That's the only thing, is finding a place for it in your house. It'll organize the shit out of your house, but it might have trouble fitting into non-walk-in closets. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoy the review. Till then, till next time, keep carrying your knives for functional purposes, you terrorist bastard.